Alrighty.
Brennan comes running into the cave screaming something about the statues coming to life outside.
What'd I miss?
Nothing. We waited for you.
Oh, okay. What happened on Lucius's turn?
He realized he should roll advantage, and he re-rolled and rolled just as badly.
I rolled one better. Come on.
Oh, okay.
And then after Lucius's turn ended, Brennan ran into the cave screaming with his short sword in hand, something about the statues coming to life. And now it is Elias's turn.
Did Merritt? Oh, they're both asleep.
They are indeed both asleep. He gets advantage on his attack with you now, right, Crench?
Correct.
Okay, so he continues to wildly attack Crench. 19? 18?
Yeah, 18 hits.
18. Is that right? No, it was 19. Okay. And he does 6 points of damage. You're resistant, though, to... Oh, never. Actually, it's actually magical damage, so your resistance would not take effect.
Okay.
So it's
would I have felt that the last time he did it?
Well, you weren't raging the first time he did it, so it was full damage regardless.
Right, but when he did damage to me, I guess I don't get to tell what kind of damage it is.
I mean, not really. It's a magical little weapon he's using, so.
Well, but even if it's a magical weapon, the type isn't changed, right? If he's slashing me with something?
Let's find
out. It's not like he's doing poison damage to me.
Let's find out. Does barbarian damage reduction work against magical weapon? So normally, it'll say non-magical, but you are correct. The type, even if it's a magical weapon, the damage reduction still applies. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. You take 3 damage.
Okay.
Second attack. Oh wait, that was the last roll. So ignore that one. With advantage, so it hits again. For 7 divided by 2 is 3 points of damage again.
Okay. Whew. That first attack must have been some kind of sneak attack shit.
Yes, it was.
Damn,
it was very sneak attack shit.
it was a lot of sneak attack shit.
Super secret savvy.
And now it is Crench's turn.
What is this on my screen? I'm so confused. Oh. Okay. Weird. Sorry, 1 second. For that for now. Alright, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna attack recklessly with weight behind it.
Alright.
So it's just a straight roll because I'm poisoned. And yeah, 8 to hit.
You stumble as he's stabbing you in the shins and miss with your attack. And
Oh wait, no, you can't have double advantage.
You can't have double advantage, right?
But yeah, you don't have to reckless because I'm flanking.
Oh. Well.
Does it make a difference?
Well, yeah, because then
it won't make him.
You won't have advantage.
The enemy from having advantage on him.
Okay, so on his next attack, he won't have advantage. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I'm not trying to rules lawyer you guys about this stuff. And if you would have thought of it, you would have done it. That brings us to. Do you have anything bonus actions or anything, Crench?
Nope, not unless I crit.
Nope. Okay. Brennan is standing there, wildly pointing at the door as he prepares to brace with his short sword.
Okay.
Okay.
Lucius, you're up.
And then that's how to snore like.
I am going to attempt to inflict wounds on him again.
All right.
17.
That hits.
Okay. Let's
Your
see.
last spell slot. Make it good.
Oh.
Wow.
That is 4d10, doing 12 damage.
All right, you reach out and while he's distracted by Crench, you grab him in the back of the neck, shoot necrotic energy piercing across his body. He buckles to his knees, kind of see his eyes roll back in his head, and then he stands back up.
Okay, I am also going to step back.
Okay. Remember, you had half your movement to get up because you never stood up.
Yep, that's fine. And
Now- You're not disengaging though. So
Can
you
I-
get attack of opportunity.
I can't. Disengaging would be an action, wouldn't
That's
it?
correct.
So he'll get an attack of opportunity
That is
against
correct.
me. Nah, it's probably not worth it. Yeah, that's fine. I'll stay there.
Lucius, Eamon sleeping, Merrick sleeping. You guys see a statue lumber animatedly in. And with Brennan's ready to action, he attacks it. And he hits it.
Okay.
Go, Brennan,
Nice.
for 4 points of damage.
Which statue is it, Goose? Does it matter?
Would have been the closest one, so the lady that Lucius looked at. All right. Statue. Elias, he's continuing to try to bring down the big guy. 19 does hit. Takes 10 points of damage, halved is 5.
Whew. Okay. I'm looking rough. Looking very, very rough.
Your shin is looking really rough.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
got a mangled shin.
Now, I want you
just-
to imagine this. We survived this battle, but you drop to 0 and you have to roll on that chart.
Also, like,
Which, by the way, I printed out a new one. So
I don't think I ever got an answer on relentless endurance, by the way. Technically, I don't ever go unconscious, so I don't think it should apply, but...
yeah, that was my first inclination too. I just wanted the heroic scene of Crench with his broken ribs wading through a pool of bad guys with the battle axe. But the reality is it'd probably end up killing you, so we'll say no.
Okay.
Cringe loses his hand, but the bone's
So-
protruding, so he stabs a guy in the neck with it.
So, my turn?
He
or-
grabs his opponent. Wait, now he's literally disarmed, so he grabs his opponent by the hair with the other hand and jabs his forearm bone into his.
God. That sounds
All
like
right.
something Crunch would do.
It does. It does. Now that you're up.
Alright. I'll put my weight behind this one as well. Straight attack. 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
You're only at +1 if you put your weight behind it. Oof.
Yeah.
But hey,
It's a minus.
It's a -5, but it adds 10 damage if I hit.
Right.
Which so far it hasn't cost me anything, and that is 27 damage.
You see Crench rear back, swing his mighty axe wildly, and nearly cleave the halfling in two. He falls to the ground. Behind him, you hear the statue crumple down. Well,
so when we killed him, it disabled the statue, it seemed.
correct.
And Mongoose, would you care to guess how much HP I had left?
2.
2.
Nope. 1.
1.
One.
I love
What
how
are
you
you-
and I both said
Wow.
2, though.
Now, was it a legit 1, or did you go down to 0 and bounce?
No, I have not used Relentless Endurance. It's a legit one.
So Crench rears back with his battle axe, cleaves this halfling in two, and then falls to one knee, panting and bleeding profusely as he looks at what's left of his shredded
I'm
shins.
just like, good berries. Need good berries.
crawling over to Merrick, snapping, looking
Wake
through his bag.
up!
He had 3 left, I think. If you go fish through his stuff.
Sure.
I'm seriously sucking my thumb at this point. Like I've got myself curled up, and I'm just at this thing.
I'm gonna move over here and just prodding Merrick with the butt end of my
Nope,
my pole
nothing's
arm.
waking him.
And I look over to Brennan. I'm like, did they all collapse out there?
He says, I don't know, let me go look. And he runs out and he says, only one more collapsed. It looks like the rest hadn't animated yet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think this time I might need a short rest.
We're still asleep in a poison fog, guys.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get out of the poison fog.
I like how you very carefully moved around.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and drag him out of here.
I'm gonna drag Merrick out.
Hobbling on one leg,
There you go.
and try to wake him up.
No, they don't seem to stir. How long you guys gonna wait it out?
Well, we need the. We're in no shape to fight anything else. I am completely out of spells. These two are asleep. If I go to that door, is it right here? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
I would have spent
I wanna
spent
go
about
over
2
there.
minutes trying to wake him, and I'm gonna go sit down and start my short rest.
Okay, it does not work. You are starting your short rest.
I'm going to. I'm gonna go to this door. I'm not gonna try to open it or anything, but I just want to smell.
Like through like the keyhole or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I assume it's not an airtight door.
No, it does reek.
Does it reek of death?
Make a
Where's
I'm
the
a
stuff?
pri-
Oh, the
I'm
door's
a
right
priest
here.
of
make a
Ilmater.
perception check with advantage.
Okay.
He knows his death smells.
That's
It
a
Yeah.
reeks
natural
of death. It reeks of death.
20. Okay. That's the perception roll I was looking for earlier.
Yeah, you're like, whoa! I mean, you deal with death all the time. You're like, holy.
I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell Crench, like, that side room in there. There's some dead bodies in there.
Almost some dead bodies in here. This guy was
And then
crazy.
I'm gonna go back over to the bear. I'm gonna sit down beside it and I'm gonna ritual cast detect magic.
The bear is not magical, but the pedestal is.
The pedestal, like the pedestal right here.
Where the thing that he was carving was on it.
All right, what school of magic is it?
A necromancy.
Huh.
Interesting.
I'm gonna assume because you're human, you lit that thing on fire to see about
Lit what thing on fire?
the
Yes.
brazier right here.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, we need to get into that room and recover anything we can. If it's bodies, then we can always just send somebody. We can always just send back people here, since the danger seems to have come and gone now. But we should probably take a look at the rest of this place. Make sure there's nothing else dangerous here.
All right.
So
And then-
this pedestal is necromantic.
Correct.
That spell lasts for 10 minutes. I'm gonna go to the statues outside. What type of magic are they giving me?
That's a good question. While I'm looking this up, you guys can tell me what else you're doing too.
Can we say that an hour passes while we're doing this, so I can roll?
If you guys want to wait that long, yeah.
Yeah. Let me know if I can roll my hit die if we get through that hour.
Okay. Yes, you can roll the hit die.
Okay. So 4d12. Start with 1.
You don't have to use them all.
I know. But... you can use one at a time and then decide if I need more. So it's 1d12 plus 3, so it's 15. That's a nice roll.
When you detect magic, does it say it just gives the school? Is that what it says?
It will give me the school of magic, if there is a school to be given.
I think the best way to describe it would be kind of a, you know, when you go to like the frozen yogurt place and you pull like the middle lever and it's like half vanilla and half chocolate.
It's half abjuration, half
transmutation, half
transmutation,
half necromancy.
Okay.
I'm full.
All right, there you go.
So I have thoroughly, with Brennan's help, wrapped up my injured leg and tied it off.
Actually, you guys can't short rest because you can only one short rest per 24-hour period, and you already took one.
That's not what it says in the. Yeah, I actually didn't short rest.
Did you? If you didn't use yours, then you're good.
But that's actually not what it says in the thing. In the book, it says you can only do one long rest per day, but you can do as many short rests as you.
Then maybe I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, I could also be remembering it wrong.
We'll look it up. It doesn't matter here because you didn't use your...
Sure.
So go ahead and use it.
By the way, speaking of things we looked up later that we were wondering about, when you use the disengage action, you are... Basically, it negates any attacks of opportunities for the rest of the turn.
Right.
We had a disagreement about that in the last fight, and that's how that rule works.
About it.
Sure. Yeah, we weren't sure how it worked, but yeah, that's how it works. Disengage is you're immune to attacks of opportunities for your turn. Anyway, so upon completing that, I would have gone and gotten the keys that he was indicating. I would have gone and unlocked this room and made sure
they're not on the they were not on the table. There was a bunch of crap on the table, but there's no key there.
I'm gonna bang on the door and see if anything responds on the other side.
Nope.
Okay. So they're probably all dead in there.
I'm gonna pull Lucius guy out. The smoke's dissipated by now, yeah?
Yeah, let's say it is.
An hour later? I would hope so.
I wanna search his pockets, see if I can find any keys and what else he might have on him.
He does have a key in his apron. And what else does he have on him is a good question. Let me find my handy dandy little notes here.
Well, I'm gonna take the key to Crench, and I'm assuming we're up over here by the door now. We're both gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So an hour has passed. These two have not woken up. They've not stirred at all.
That is correct. So it's a long passageway filled with numerous remains. They're at the end, right here. Where's my little thing? Right there is a hole in the ceiling that maybe a small creature could shimmy up. And then it kind of ends, the little pathway ends.
All right. Well, do we see specifically
the dwarf and Alistair?
Yeah, Alistair.
You do see. It's been I think I said a few weeks for Alistair, right? Yeah. So you do find a bald, red-bearded guy in there that Lucius would tell you is approximately whatever the correct amount of time is decomposed in there. A very fresh, red-bearded dwarf corpse. As well as 7 other human corpses, including 1 woman.
Well, we can't bring them all back right now. How many horses? We have, 3 horses with us that we brought in?
That sounds right.
Okay, so we could maybe ride one or two of these back with us, but we also have to ride these 2 back, sleeping. And then we can send more back to retrieve these bodies, inter them, return them to their families. But we can't do it all right now.
Okay, well, you guys are kind of looking around. Another hour passes, and these two slowly rise.
Okay, well, that's good.
And is it like night at this point?
Well, you guys went in there. I think I said what, like 3:34, let's say. It's been 2 hours, so
it's 5.
So it's getting nighttime, though not quite dark yet. Probably twilight, just before sunset.
Okay.
So can we go down and check out what's going on over here?
You absolutely can.
That's a chest.
A bedroom with a couple of chests.
These seem like they're all chests.
You see an oaken oak longbow leaning against the wall by one of the chests.
Ritual detect magic.
Yeah, I'm gonna call for Emin and tell him, hey, we got some chests in here. Care to check for some traps? And then I'm gonna go over here while he does it.
What? No.
Ah, come on.
Right.
I did all the heavy lifting here.
It's not my fault I fell asleep.
Well, whose fault is it then?
What would have happened if you would have all fallen asleep?
Oh, that would have sucked.
Oh, bomb, bomb, bomb.
Yeah,
Would that have been a TPK?
We'll never know.
We'll start with this one, B.
Okay, make a would it be search? Yes, there's no search in this. I still haven't learned all these yet.
No, we could do
Damn 3 point. Thank you.
Perception.
It's investigation typically, I think, for traps.
Shut up. It's perception.
There is no trap.
Okay.
Has detect magic gone away? Or it's been hours. Never mind.
We'll go for the next one.
Yeah, I'll go in there, by the way, and start the ritual casting detect magic again.
Okay, there doesn't appear to be a trap.
Does not appear to be a trap.
Doesn't appear to be a trap on that one either.
So I'll open them in the same order then.
Okay. None of them are locked or trapped.
This is a point of information. Does it do any good if I also cast detect magic, or is that of any help of any kind?
No.
Okay.
Makes no difference whatsoever. Inside are looks like kind of the stuff that he's looted off of these people. There's 6 daggers in there, a couple long swords, if those interest you, a stash of 30 arrows, the aforementioned longbow, a small bag of jewelry. It looks like it's a couple of necklaces and a number of marriage bands, basically, in a little bag of jewelry. And various coins, 45 gold pieces, 75 copper pieces, and randomly a small crate full of silks.
Just like silk cloth?
Yep. And you finish your detect magic, and the only thing that detects magic is the chisel that he stabbed Crench with repeatedly.
Okay. And what type of magic is it?
A necromancy magic.
I'm going to give it to Ammon and say it's magic.
Woo-hoo.
But he might not want to use it.
Not right now. I'm too attached to this damn short sword.
Nah, fair enough. I'll hold on to the chisel.
Okay.
I'm not going to attune to it.
All right.
So can we strap the weaponry to our horses if we carry it back there?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And we can just carry all the stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's take it all. Let's get back. Let's get back as soon as we can here. I say we take we try to take the corpse of a lister first,
Okay,
and then
so
we'll maybe see if we can get some of our friends back at the T.O.R house to come back and take care of the rest here.
Well, we know that Lucius would know that how transportable a body of his age is.
It's not very transportable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be I think he's probably pretty bloated and about to fall apart at this point.
Okay.
Well,
then I guess we can just leave him here
likely
for
one
now.
of those wedding bands is his. We can take that. We can take the bow.
Yeah. And just the knowledge, I guess. Not that that's going to help her much.
So as we're examining the treasure chest and we're looking at all this, and Crunch and Lucius are discussing the possibility of not carrying the body back, I go outside to go look at the statues.
Okay, so in the hallway there is one kind of collapsed statue. It just basically plonk. And then just outside the cave door there's another one, but the other 7 appear to be right how you left them.
So and those 2 statues that are left are Alistair and Ollie are both
No, one of them was the lady that Lucius looked at. The other was just some random one of them.
No, but I mean the ones that are still standing. Both Alistair and Ollie are still standing.
Correct. And you would assume 2 of the humans are those other 2 people you said went missing, but you guys didn't really get a good description of them. But I mean,
are they heavy? Are they?
Well, I mean, it's however much a stone statue of life,
human-sized stone statue. It's at least a couple 100 pounds.
Heavy as hell.
So what you're saying is you got a barbarian that wants to carry things?
I mean, I suppose you could turn him into a pack mule and you might be able to lug one of them around, but I don't think you're going to get much more than that.
No, ideally we want to ride back quickly and get back to the T.O.R house so that we can actually start, taking care of this situation as soon as possible. Maybe sending, something back that can actually transport these bodies.
The bodies aren't going anywhere, man.
Well,
they're
no,
going to be buried.
Okay. Well, then I guess we just leave. We don't have any more reason to stay here.
All right.
Well, yeah. What time is it? It's like 6?
I think we said about 6:30.
And it's how like 4 hours back?
I think I said
maybe?
4 to 5 hours back to town. Yeah.
So we'll get there.
That's
late.
4 to 5 hours, assuming you hauled ass like you were really cracking.
Crunch is insisting that we're going back to the T.O.R house tonight.
If you went at a normal pace, you figure you're in more like the 6-hour range.
Yeah, no, I say we stay here for the night.
So I ask Crunch, why do you want to get back to the T.O.R house so bad?
Well, it's the Melande equivalent of a Thursday, and we need to get you back to Hastow by tomorrow.
Crunch is thinking of he's my wingman.
So my plan was to get us back there tonight, and then pick up the cart, and I would ride you back to Hastow through the night in the cart, so you can get your full night's rest, hobbling along in the cart, and then I'll go to bed in Hastow in the morning. But first, we got to get back there and get the news back as soon as possible.
So I look at the group and say, "This is my wingman, and I've got to." I appreciate what he's trying to do, but I'll leave it to the rest of the party so that we're not putting ourselves out. What do you guys think?
Well, if we have to fight anything, we're going to be in a bad spot. But we didn't have to fight anything other than the harpies on the way here, and I think 2 of them got away and they were almost dead. But
actually, only 1. I'm pretty sure. Wulfric literally ran down the second to last one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got all but one of them. The one that got away was basically dead.
So I mean, as long as we don't get attacked, it should be fine. But if we get attacked, it could be a problem.
I'm gonna pat Lucius on the back and say, "Don't worry, I'll protect you." As I walk out.
I will push his hand off of my shoulder.
Oh, I didn't leave it there. I just patted it on my way by.
I will stick the hilt or the haft of my glaive between his legs while he's walking.
Where he keeps the javelins?
Make an intimidation check.
So you guys traveling through the night? Are you busting ass? Or you going at a regular pace?
We gotta go.
Okay, because busting ass means no stealth checks, no perception, and regular pace.
We're beelining it.
All right. You guys go down into the night. Your horses are where you left them. You load them up as you see fit, and off you go through the night. 5 hours later, so just before midnight, you would arrive on the outskirts of town where the T.O.R Guildhouse is.
So it's probably too late at this point to actually inform. I forget her name now. I don't think I wrote
Me
it
and
down
Evan can
either.
handle that tomorrow.
Yeah. Alistair's wife about what happened. So yeah, I'll just as soon as I get in, I'll just start packing up the pack horse.
All right. So you guys spend a little bit of time, getting the harness on the pack horse, getting the wagon ready. We'll say shortly after midnight, you guys can take off. Merrick, you can take a long rest in the back of the wagon, as uncomfortable as it may be, so you're nice and refreshed. At night,
How long a ride to Hastow is it?
A normal ride is 6 hours. So
I'm gonna take a slow ride. Like I want it to take about 8 hours.
we'll say 8, sure. So you guys can go a nice casual pace. You know, it is at night. You don't want to mess up the horse. So you would arrive, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 8:30, something like that. What are the other two of you doing in the evening?
Oh, Goose, I forgot to mention. Actually, we wouldn't have had time for that. Never mind.
All right, happy to help.
Okay, so me and Emin then that morning are gonna go. I assume Emin. I am.
Yep.
Emin can come if he wants to. Are gonna go to what's her face lady's house and break the bad news to her.
So the next morning. So that night, are you just going to bed basically?
Yeah, just go to bed.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you guys go in the guild house. A couple of the of your hirelings, employees, I guess, are up at a table playing cards. They're kind of a little startled when you come in, but wave friendly enough. And it's a little crowded in there for as many people as are crashing in there, but you find a spot in the corner because it's being repaired. It's a little bit of a minor construction zone. There's a lot of people in there. But you find a spot and sleep easily enough. The guys make you breakfast in the morning. Are you sleeping in? You getting up early?
I got no reason to be up early.
I'm sleeping in.
All right. So back to Hastow, the southern gates of Hastow. 8 o'clock. Crench trying to not fall asleep whilst driving.
Yeah, so I'm gonna park first off outside of the Leorel Merchant Warehouse, and I need to go get a few copies of the deed made. So I'm gonna leave Merrick just kind of snoozing in the back of the cart and hop out.
Okay, so you get a couple extra copies of the deed to the storage chest.
Yeah, so that more people can access it. Does that
Are you
cost me
leaving-
anything?
No, they'll just do it as part of
Cool.
what you're paying.
All right.
Are you gonna leave any of your weapons in there as you're gonna go?
Oh yeah, everything but the sword.
So you piece tie off your sword, hop back in, trot in. The guards don't give you any issue as you go in, and you're in Hastow.
All right. So then I'm gonna park right in front of the sweet shop. What time is it now?
Say by the time you do your thing there, what, 9:30 or so?
Yep.
And ride your way into town.
I'm gonna rouse Merrick and say, "Hey, it's your stop, buddy."
I wake up and say, "Thank you, Crunch."
Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep off this point of exhaustion.
Are you gonna go pick up a room at your usual haunt?
Yes, after I drop off the cart at the stable.
All right. So Crench is going to sleep it off. Merrick, where are you going?
So it's Friday morning at this point, right?
Friday morning, yep.
So What time? About what time is it?
About 9:30.
9:30. So, because I was so happy to sleep through our last adventure, I head over to the League of Adventure. I can't remember the name of the damn thing.
The Registry of Skilled Companies.
Registry of Skilled Companies. And I would go in there, and who's in there at this point?
It's empty when you go in. Just one bored-looking clerk sitting there. A young human dude. You recognize him as the same guy that was dealing with Wilner the last time you were in.
And kind of saddle up to his thing and hop up in his chair and say, I didn't get your name last time I was here, friend.
He kind of looks up and you blinks, goes, "Oh, you're alive? You're in one piece."
And I look at him. I kind of look at him quizzically, like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm
of
happy.
course I am.
I'm happy to hear it. My name is Peter. What can I do for you?
Well, Peter, I'm here to see about another contract.
Oh, all right. He reaches under the table, gets out a little, like, whatever the equivalent of his little kind of filing through. Let me get my notes. Here we go.
I get all my rages back. All right.
There's one to investigate a rumor of a kidnapping. There's one is a rumor of women going missing in a town in Leona. Another woman missing in a different town. So two different missions of investigating missing women. There's one that's very vaguely worded, protect a town. There's the previous contract to deal with the bandit captain. There's also an escort of like a merchant caravan. And another escort. It just says escort woman, very vague.
So I look at the two missing women ones, and are they in the same general area where we just came from?
Let's see. Hold on, let me find it on my list again. No, one of them is in Leona, which is on the other side of the mountains. So like further south, and the other one. Well, and actually these don't actually say where they're supposed to be. So that one I did say is Leona, so that one would be further. But the other one just says missing woman in a town. It doesn't say where. Because they're intentionally vague until you buy the contract, so you don't just go out there without paying for it.
Right. Okay, so we got two missing women. We've got an escort.
You've got missing women, escort, protect a town, deal with a bandit, and another escort. Escort a caravan, escort a woman.
And again, they don't say which direction or what they're doing.
No, they're all pretty intentionally vague. The only one that says a specific area is the one that says in Leona, which is.
That's like way far away, right? That's on the other side of the dwarves we met.
Yeah, it's down. Oh, let me clear out my gobbledygook here. Or actually, you know what? I'll do this. It is. There we go. This is Leona down here.
Okay, and we're.
You guys are under this hot mess right here. That's Hastow.
Which hot mess? It's not coming through. Okay, yeah.
Yep, that's Hastow. Exactly.
Okay. So we go ahead and I look at the list here and think that that in my mind I'm thinking that it makes sense that we would want to go and tell the dwarves what was going on, and we could send word to them otherwise, but seems interesting. to go south, but I'm also wondering if it makes sense to talk to the bandit. Protect the town. I'd like to go ahead and protect the town.
Okay. He says, well, I know you belong here, but I do need to see your token.
So I pull it out and put it down and say, the tradition of rejects.
He smiles, says, thank you, 25 gold, and I'll get you the contract.
So I have 14 gold and 406 silver pieces. So what do I drop my silver pieces by?
It's
10 per gold.
10 silver per gold.
So basically, you can take 400 of those and count it as 40 gold, and then just leave the
6, yeah.
the rest silver is what you got as.
Okay, so 10 gold to take 40 away. So okay, right. So
Well, no,
366.
you wouldn't take 40. You would convert 400 to 40, and then you would take away 25, and you still have 15.
Okay, my math is not working, guys. I'm sorry.
That's right. So basically,
this is 3 a.m. talking at this point.
No. So take that 406 gold
Uh-huh.
or 406 silver. You're gonna delete that, and now you have 6 silver.
Okay, 6 silver. Okay.
Okay. Now, whatever your gold total is, add 15 to it, and now you paid for it. You paid for it.
Okay, so 29. Okay, so I have 4 gold left.
No. You should be adding. What gold did you have before?
14.
14. So add 15 to that, and you've already paid. Like I already did it for you.
Oh, okay.
You should have 29 gold and 6 silver, and you've paid for the contract.
Okay, good.
You could even theoretically buy a second one.
You could if you wanted to.
All right, that's a good tip there, Crunch. So we've got the.
You hear him snoring in his sleep from the 2 buildings over. Buy the second one.
Somehow we're so telepathically linked from our.
Okay, well pick a second one.
You
did protect the town, right?
Yeah, I did protect the town.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get the missing woman.
Missing woman, the one into the south, or the one that didn't say a location?
The one that didn't say a location.
Okay.
So now I'm at a total of 4 gold pieces.
There you go. He brings out the full contracts for you, has you sign paper on each, and he says it says here that you already have a contract out. Was that one completed?
Mostly, we're finishing it up.
He says, okay, great. Let me note that here. Sign here. Gives you a signature for the other one that you currently have.
And one last question: copper pieces to gold is
100. It's 10, 10, 10. 10 copper to silver, 10 silver to gold.
Okay, so 500 copper is 5 gold.
5 gold, right.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Which, by the way, I don't think we ever split up the gold that we found
Nope.
at the house.
Somebody has that. Somebody also has 6 daggers, 2 long swords, and an oak longbow.
We had that packed onto one of our. So I would have mentioned this on the ride back, by the way, but I was earmarking those as weapons to leave at the T.O.R house for like if they need to defend it. But yeah,
Not a bad idea.
Yep.
All right.
there wasn't a short bow, by the way, and like a hand crossbow and all of that mess.
Nope.
Okay.
So I take the contracts and is it safe to read them there?
Sure.
Or is that not normal? I guess I don't understand the decorum if I should take it back to
No,
read at
doesn't matter.
the
You can sit
hotel.
there and read it.
Okay.
Sure, you're reading them there?
Yeah.
Okay. Ironically, one of them is there is a town called Deming, approximately 100 miles northeast of here. Oh, I have the map up. So you would think it would be somewhere right close to the forest, right in here, or northwest, I should say, of here. No, that would be northeast of here. Where the woman went missing, so they want you to see a mayor of the town or the local lord, whoever the leader of the town is for that. Ironically, to protect a town, this was a request for protection from actually outside the realm of Malande. Apparently, there is a forest gnome village somewhere in here that is requesting protection.
And being a forest gnome, granted, I'm from more up in this area, but do I have any idea who these people are? Or?
No, it's actually a little bit of a. Well, actually, go ahead and make a. What would it be?
Be a history
Make it-
more.
Sure. Let's do history check. Oh, all right. It's basically a very small, kind of isolated gnome village that you don't really know a lot of particulars about, other than you're aware that it's there and it's pretty small.
What's the name of it?
Good question. I actually didn't write that down. Let's get the name of it. Hold on. No, bad. The name of the town is Kelbar.
Kelbar. Okay. So they're close. They happen to be kind of close together.
Yeah,
here.
just by coincidence, you happen to pick the two that were actually pretty close to each other.
All right. So I tucked these into my. I thank Peter.
All right.
And tuck these into my.
You see him kind of looking at the original application and comparing signatures, making sure all the paperwork's in order. And he says, "We'll see you next time."
And I head out the door, and I head for Gracie's sweet shop.
Okay. The sweet shop is closed up. It is Friday. That's the day it's closed. But she did tell you she lives in a small apartment above it, so you're able to easily find, the stairs around the back, basically.
Yep.
And you knock on the door, and after a few minutes, you hear 1 minute, and after another minute, Carly answers the door, and she kind of, her hair looks a little bit, like a mom's hair after spending too much time with the kids, a little bit all over the place. And she says, "Oh, it's been a long night. Come in." And she kind of pats you on the back as you go by. She goes, "Let me show you where my mother is." And her house her apartment is small, 3 rooms. There's kind of like a main room, a bedroom, and then it's like a food prep area, basically. It's neat enough, but you can tell it's fairly simple living. Her mother's name is Gwendolyn. An older woman who's laying in the bedroom, clearly very ill.
And I look at Carly, and you said it was been a long evening. What's gone on last night?
Oh, she couldn't sleep. She was coughing a lot. I had to stay up with her. She's sleeping now. She seems to be resting now, but she really couldn't sleep last night very well.
And so, my knowledge of sickness and stuff, does that come from medicine or?
Yeah, I kind of think like is it like instead of like a tribal healer type as opposed to a more formal education.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of more of a mystical medicine as opposed to like a physician.
Right.
They're just different. It's not one is necessarily any better than the other.
Right, but as far as trying to understand what she has, I would roll a medicine roll like I did there. Or...
Yep, exactly right. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I rolled a 6 means I didn't do crap, right?
Means you didn't get a great read on it. You don't see any evidence of illness necessarily. She just seems like a really old woman. They got thin gray hair, a very frail frame. She kind of has a little bit of a wheeze to her when she breathes. Otherwise, she seems healthy enough. She's just really old.
So I asked Carly how long has she been like this? Has this been? Do you feel like this is just an old age thing, or has she been sick for a while?
Oh, her health has been declining over the last few years. It just seems to get a little bit worse each day. She's like, there wasn't any. She didn't just wake up like this. There wasn't any time where she just all of a sudden became sick. Over the last 5 years, 6 years, she just kind of seems to slowly get worse. It's like maybe she's winding down.
So I ask Carly, do you mind if I sit with your mother a while?
She says, no. Can I make you some tea, or are you hungry? Would you like anything to eat?
And I say a tea would sound nice, and whatever wonderful delectable she may have lying around that would go good with tea.
Sure. So you hear her disappear in the other room. You just kind of sit next to the woman. She's sleeping, shallow breathing, but otherwise seems to be resting peacefully enough on the mattress. It is a summer morning, so she doesn't have too much in the way of, like blankets on top of her. It's just not really necessary. It's cool, not cold.
What is her name?
Gwendolyn.
Mom's name?
Gwendolyn.
I'm sorry?
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn, sorry. So I go ahead and kind of just as you would for an old lady, to kind of take Gwendolyn's hand and kind of quietly, because I'm not trying to do this with a lot of pomp and circumstance, cast Luster Restoration on her.
All right. You kind of at the end, you kind of hear the wheeze go away a little bit. She seems to be breathing a little bit easier, but other than that, you don't really seem to notice that much of a difference.
And something like this, like casting healing on her really isn't going to do much, right? Like healing word isn't going to.
If she was sick or had an illness of some sorts, then absolutely. If she's just kind of getting old and dying of old age, regular cure spells, there are magics out there that will do that stuff for sure. But like regular normal healing spells aren't really going to do anything with that.
Right, but Luster Restoration took away the wheeze, so she can rest a little bit easier. But just in case, I mean, does it make sense to try to cast healing word here?
I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It probably won't. It does the best you can tell. It also wouldn't accomplish anything, but it's certainly not going to hurt.
Right. Well, I go ahead and take the time to cast it.
Okay. All right.
5 hit points.
A few minutes later, she comes in with like a basic tray and some tea, a couple slices of bread and some basically some cheeses.
Go ahead.
She says as she sits down with you, she kind of puts her hand on her chest. Her wheeze is gone.
And I just kind of I smile and I say, I have a calming effect on people.
She goes, I guess so. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure she'll be much more comfortable now.
I say thank you and sit there and enjoy make pleasantries and enjoy a cup of tea with her and her mother.
Okay.
And of course the sweet treats.
Of course. But she doesn't actually have any of the pastries up there. She has just kind of the basic stuff.
Well, the sweet bread you said, the bread.
Oh yeah, the bread, fresh baked bread.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys have a bread and some cheeses, and then make pleasant conversation. And she's very friendly, seems genuinely grateful, and off you go if that's it.
Yeah, I thank her and I say, Carly, is there a time that I could come and call on you more specifically?
She says, well, Fridays are kind of my day off, but you're always welcome to drop by the shop.
And I thank her and I say that I will send word for a time when I can take her out for a nice meal.
She says that would be great. Thanks very much.
And so yeah, I don't think I want to do anything about that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So let's say 9:30. You were at the registry. Let's see. You get up to her place at 9:40 or I say 10:15 or so. Spend a couple hours there, so it's probably just before noon. So we'll cut away here and we'll go to Eamon and Lucius back in L.A.T.O.R. You wake up after sleeping in. You eat a mediocre breakfast with the boys, and where are you off to now?
Well, we're gonna go see the one lady. I'm gonna make sure that I bring the bag that had the things like wedding bands and stuff like that, as well as the bow. I'm gonna make sure I keep the bag of wedding bands away from Amon.
That's a solid move right there.
What do you here? Just let me carry those. Let me help you out there. You look tired.
I look tired.
Those wedding bands are really heavy.
I'm gonna be like, thanks, I got them. And then we're gonna go up to her place and knock on the door.
All right. She answers. When she recognizes you, she kind of, you could tell she, her heart starts beating really fast, like she's anxious. If she's not sure, it's going to be like what very anxious over what you're going to tell her.
I very kindly, calmly put my hand on her shoulder and just kind of give her a knowing look and tell her I'm sorry. We found him, and he's with the gods now.
She starts to kind of sob uncontrollably. She's trying to hold herself back, and after a few minutes, she's still crying a lot, but she says thank you. She's at least I can get closure now. And then she asks if you would perform a ceremony for her husband.
Of course I will. We weren't able to bring his remains back. Would you like me to perform the ceremony with his remains in the forest? Or would you like me to do something here?
Because I think, she's trying, very kind of stammering, through tears. I think everybody would like to be able to say goodbye. I would really like it to be here in the town.
Okay, of course. And I'll ask her when she would like this done. What would be the best time?
Just maybe a couple days to give everyone notice. Would you find anybody else out there?
There were quite a few people. It appeared to be, it was a halfling.
Yes, he was.
It was a halfling. It seemed demented. I think he. I don't know if he had lost his mind or if someone else was controlling his mind, but he thought he was making art. He would carve the people into statues. There were a few people that he had done this to. The ones you mentioned earlier, I'm sure, are among them.
She kind of looks at you. So my husband's a statue?
He did carve your husband into a statue, yes. He is not physically a statue. A statue is made in his likeness. And it seems like he would capture people and use them as like models, I guess, for lack of a better word. And after he was done with them, he would kill them.
You see her kind of shake her head, like, why would people do this? And she kind of takes a few minutes to compose herself, and she goes, well, hold
There's
on.
no logic behind it. He was insane.
She walks back in her house for a moment and comes back with a pouch. She goes, it's all I can give you. And she hands you a pouch of gold. She's like, did you find anything of his?
Of your husband's?
Yes.
We have his bow. At least I believe it's his bow. And we have a bag here of wedding bands. I'm sure one of them is probably his. If you would like to see if you could find it, I'm sure it would be important to you.
So you see her fish through and grab one out. And she kind of holds it in her hands and stares at it. She's got tears streaming down her face. She says, kind of whispers thank you under her breath. And she said, I would really like it if I can get the bow back too.
Of course. Hey, give her the bow.
She says, so what's today? Friday. She says, so can we do the services on the Malande equivalent of a Monday?
Absolutely.
All right. She thanks you again and closes her front door. As you guys are walking away from the house, you can kind of hear her howl in anguish as she's breaking down in her living room. And where are you off to now?
Look at Amon, and I'll be like, "You want a drink?"
Let's drink.
Hey, there are 480 gold pieces in that bag, by the way.
Jesus.
Jesus. I feel
I
bad
keep the
taking
bag
it gold.
away from Amon.
Not too late. I already have the gold.
Did anyone have a
Alright.
breakdown, by the way, of the gold we got inside the house?
Yep.
He's got it. He's been writing it down for you guys, I assume, or at least he has been traditionally.
Okay.
So you go to ye old chest plate.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's the only place in town. So,
Oh, it's a good place
Yeah.
to get a drink.
all right, you guys go in, get a drink. Anything else you want to get accomplished today, or are you gonna go back to the T.O.R, the
There you
guild
go,
house
sir.
after?
Sorry, my Discord disconnected for a second or something.
Okay, so you guys grab a drink at ye old chest plate, commiserate, drink away the sorrows of a poor grieving woman. Anything else you want to do? Are you just heading back to the guild house?
I can't think of anything else in particular that we needed to do, other than actually we might want to go back to the larger town and confirm the completion of our quest thing that we were doing.
Oh,
We would do that with them, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got to go in there and check in that you did it.
And do they reward us as well, or is
No,
it just
it depends. It's basically so there's sometimes it's the civic government that's giving out the contracts, and sometimes it's people that need help and they put their contract in for it to be picked up. So basically, she
Sure.
went down there, put the contract in, and then they sent you to her, and she pays you because it's her contract. So that
Gotcha.
480 got from her, that was the payment for the contract.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so. I just wanted to be sure. Yeah, we got money from doing that. I like money.
I have the math if you guys want it.
Yeah, just post it.
I forgot about that. My bad.
Right?
So back to the guild house. Anything else?
So we've got all day today, tomorrow, and
we're
Sunday.
in the
so
smaller
we've got,
city, right?
Yeah, you're in the town. The town.
Oh, okay.
the tour.
No, nothing until we're in the big one.
Okay. Well, I mean, you just gonna go straight there? You guys, I assume, didn't take your horses. You're gonna go get your horses.
Yeah, I'll get my horse.
Okay.
Imagine you guys would be getting there right about the time that I was waking up from my exhausted
Your
stupor.
cat nap.
Right. So
I'm sitting in the
you guys at this time in the morning, you guys are doing your thing in Hasta.
right.
Second here. What
are you laughing at, Mongoose?
So I have a name generator off to the side in case I need to come up with a random name.
Yes.
So I need a halfling name in a moment, and it came up with what did it just say? It was Frodo, but one letter was different. So I was cracking up. I was like, like Drodo or something. It was literally Frodo, but with one.
Bro 2.
Yeah, no, it was Rodo, but with something
Okay.
letter. It was like instead of an F, it was like a D or something. Drodo. So that made me giggle.
You having a giggle, mate?
All right.
So as you guys being Eamon and Lucius come up to the guild house, you see out front is Bram and Durrier and a halfling who you haven't really had the opportunity to meet, but he's one of the group that came in and moved in as your guys' kind of hirelings or whatever. And
Is his name Drodo?
his name is not Drodo. His
Frodo?
his name is unironically Tiny because he's actually small for a halfling.
And halflings are small to begin with.
Right. As you come up, they say, Eamon, Eamon, they're obviously not talking to Eamon. Lucius, we wanted to talk to you about something. And they hand you like a parchment with a bunch of numbers. And he goes, this is, I've been working with Tiny here. Tiny had a shop north of Hastow before the Shantytown came and took over. And then we also have this other person whose name I need. Nope, I already have that name. Nope. There we go. And Oliver, who's inside, was a carpenter. But this is what we think we'll need to get this going. And Tiny here, you can tell Bram is pitching this. He's a little bit nervous. He says, Tiny here realizes there's no like store in the town of Lator. So anytime anybody needs to buy anything, they have to go into Hastow. So we can get build up an inventory, get contracts, stock it out. We'll have to.
You want to open a general store?
Renovate a little bit. Well, and Oliver too can help with the construction. He was a carpenter, and maybe if
I'm just gonna tell him like, stop. What do you need?
So he hands you this paper, and now if you check in your journal, you have a paper.
In my journal?
Yep.
What's in my journal? Journal. Guild house
Ta-da.
proposal.
Look at that. Look at Mongoose figuring out old Roll20 here.
700 gold will take 30 days. Projected income 1,000 gold over 3 months. So it'll actually make us 340 gold every 3 months.
Correct. What I put together there is there's there's a book I got that has rules for like establishing this, and I kind of took them and manipulated it. But once you guys get going, you can actually upgrade it and kind of build up the business and increase that too. It would be more, but you guys have a lot more staff than you need because you're trying to give all these people jobs. So
Sure.
actually, as you build the business out to kind of grow the business into your staff instead of the staff to your business, it'll actually get better.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, so we need 700 gold. We just got paid 480,
Correct.
and
So
we got another
So that's going to cover
30 something, right?
Right, that's going to cover labor costs, construction costs, supplies to redo the house because it's not really set up for what you want to do, plus enough to stock the store with the inventory needed to sell.
So, but it's 700 for the whole thing, right?
700 to get it going, and it would take whatever I put on there, 30 days.
30 days, yeah. Okay. I'll thank him and let him know and say I'll have to talk with the others, but this looks good.
He says, okay. He goes, I thought I should bring it to you. I didn't know if he kind of gestures at Eamon. I don't know if he would get it.
You were right to bring this to me. or Cringe.
No, it wouldn't have been right to bring it to me.
And anyone
can't read it.
I mean, like within the characters, you are the one with the formal education of the bunch.
That is true. Yeah.
So,
Is that,
Alright.
so does that include the 25 that I've given them already?
it does not. No.
Okay.
That's kind of keeping them going now. They're trying to stay busy now, but they're going to rapidly run out of things.
Okay.
Okay. So what are you guys doing now?
So they're back at
And my next question was Merrick and Crench, as it gets to be about noontime when Crench wakes up from his coma, and Merrick is done visiting his friend. What are you guys going to do as well?
So how far away is what's his face? Not Zuri. How many miles away is Zuri?
You guys don't know exactly where it is, but I mean, if you look at the map, you bring it up here. So you guys have never been there, based on his description. I mean, T.O.R is basically on top of Hastow. On the map, they're not really separate. You know, it's just the scale is not there. So you figure if you were to guess, it's going to be somewhere kind of in the middle of this if it's trading on both sides. And it's very difficult terrain, so you figure a couple days travel.
So is it like 50 miles or?
Yeah, well, I think normal travel is 24 miles a day in regular terrain, but in very rough terrain, you're going to do half that. So 30, somewhere between 30 and 50 miles, something like that, yeah.
So if I sent an animal messenger with information about Ollie to him, I could get away with that.
Yeah, I think that would work.
All right. So, as I'm, after I leave Carly, I whistle for Pooh.
Okay.
And I cast Animal Messenger.
All right. Which, do you have that spell? What does it say?
Yes, I do. And let me put it in the
in
the
Roll20 chat. So cool.
Yeah.
Let me prep it again. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Just. Right. Basically, I can send it as long as I describe it. It can go 50 miles. Describe what I'm trying to do. I can send an animal to talk to someone 50 miles away, and it'll tell the person exactly what I want to say.
So you're sending this animal to who?
He's trying to send him to let the dwarves know what happened to their boy. I think you could try. I don't know. I would kind of roll off to the side to see if it would be successful or not, because you've been there exactly before. So I think there would be an element of unknown whether or not it. But I mean, you could certainly try.
Yeah, let me cast this thing, and you'll see what it says, and you can tell me what you think.
Jeremy, that 131 gold per person. What was that?
That was the breakdown of the gold from the 480 and.
And the cave. So you just come.
I don't think we should break down the 480 yet. I think we should only break down the money.
Well, he's already got it in there. If you guys just want to add it, and you can always break up the 700 too when you want it, if and when you want to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can always chip in both ways, or if you guys want to start a joint bank account and take the relationship to the next level.
I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to kill Amon. I don't think I'm ready for that.
I think you just learned how badly a rogue can mess you up.
I'm sorry, I cleaved that rogue in half. I'm confused.
He was a halfling. You only had half hit points.
That was twice as smart as you were.
Time you see the scroll, blah blah blah. See, this isn't where you specify a location which you must have visited. So since you haven't been there,
I missed that. Shit.
Yep. Since you haven't been there, you can't send it.
Well, damn it! I was all prepared to do this all nice and cool, and
it was a good idea though.
It's a very good idea.
That's what I get for not fully understanding what's going on there. I apologize.
Okay, so are you guys going to stay in Hastow, or are you going to go leave?
Well, I'm waiting for Crench to come down from his long sleep.
Okay, well, let's say you guys meet up at noon as he wakes up.
I'm ordering a nice big breakfast. Hoping they still have breakfast available.
Sure.
So I described the other two, that I said while you were sleeping, I got us some more work.
Okay. Good.
And
I was hoping that was one of the things on my list of things to do today, so check that one off.
You watch out for me, buddy. I watch out for you. And then I tell him about Carly and Gwendolyn and how that went. And that seems that she's an old elderly woman, and I just ease some of her pain.
And how did you describe that it went? Well, not well, meh.
I asked her out again. She told me to do so, to schedule a date.
Cool. Well, see, now you got a motivating factor of why to kill the Lich and make it back alive. This is good. Kill the Lich, come back, and then you get your date.
I look at him and I just shake my head. Like I don't even respond on the Lich thing. I just let that go. Just like I'm obviously not having this conversation with him again.
Like, all right, well, we definitely need to go pick up that stuff from Lord Hughes. We were due to do that at least a day or two ago.
Yep, that's correct.
I agree, and I do say that I'm going to send a message that we've got 2 new quests coming to. I'm going to do that with Pooh, because I'm going to use this damn spell that I've got, and I'm going to send Pooh to go talk to Lucius Namon at the in Hastow by Tor House.
Yeah, just tell him to meet us here.
Okay. Well, you get 25 words. Does that just meet us here?
I tell him that we've have 2 new quests. Must go north west for quests. Assuming you want to come here to Hastow.
Bring Brennan.
Bring Brennan. And so I send Pooh off to do that.
All right. You guys go up to Lord Hughes. He isn't there when you call upon him, but there is. Griswold does hand you 2 scrolls that are there waiting for you. One of them is a letter of introduction from the Queen that basically says you're on a mission for the crown of Manande, and please, aid, as you see fit, basically. And the other is a deed to the house in question south of Latour, as well as the surrounding property. So he actually gave you a little plot of land around it as well.
Does it explicitly tell us how much?
Yes, it does.
Okay. How much?
Is it enough to farm?
You could probably do a small farm on it, yeah.
Is it enough for their families?
Probably not for their families and a small farm. But one or the other, yes. So you could get your own mini village going there if you wanted to. Build a handful of small houses for them. Or do a small farm and 1 or 2 houses.
Okay. Well, that'll be up to Brom as far as I'm concerned. Whether they want to prioritize producing more or bringing their families there, and I imagine they'll probably want to do that, but either way, that's up to them. So, I think what we need to do is we need to send a messenger back to the Tor House, and with the deed to the house, with the with 2 of the Liara merchant crate deeds, so they can have one at the house, and then they can send one with with any transfer services. If they're going to transport anything and they need access to the crate, they're welcome to do that. Use it as they see fit. So then I'll have 2 of those still, and then just a letter kind of explaining, if you would be so inclined to write this for me, Merrick, since I can't write.
You can find a messenger service to do that easily enough. 2 silver pieces. It's a short, easy trip.
Is there anything else I wanted to send to him?
Who has all your little tokens? Because you guys talked about giving that, but I don't know that you ever did.
Yeah,
and I'm almost positive Eamon has the extra one because he was the one that picked him up.
I do.
I mentioned that at one point in there that we were going to give him the 1 extra token.
But I wasn't there.
No, you were there.
I had the token, I just wasn't next to you guys.
Okay. Well, All right. I guess I don't know. I guess
All right.
he still has it. We'll have to send it back later. I mean,
So,
they're not gonna start taking missions tomorrow anyway. So.
Right. Eamon and Lucius, you're riding, just starting to leave Latour. You're maybe 20 minutes out of town when this little bird flies up to you and starts talking at you, and it freaks you out briefly. But the message is, come to Hastow, meet up with us. We have some quests to the north, and bring Bremen. And you're like, son of a bitch, Bremen's back at the house.
That's so great.
I'll say to Eamon, do you want to ride back and get him, or should I?
I can do it.
All right, so you guys
Okay.
trot back, get him, speed up to Hastow. It's a beautiful summer's day, light clouds, light breeze. Why you pay the extra rent for the weather. After turning around, getting Bremen, coming back, riding north, listening to him talk way too much.
Brennan, shut up.
I will say he does not have a peace string, so unless Eamon's going to lend him one, he's not going to be able to get into the town with a sword.
What level is he?
He's level 1.
Yes, fine, I'll loan him one.
All right. You guys ride into town. You meet up at the Fool and the Cup in the early afternoon, and we'll pick up.
All right.
Overall, pretty successful.
Sure.
We got
Yeah.
money. I like
do.
money.
Yeah, we got lots of money. That's...
I mean, we're about to spend it all right away, but
All
but
right.
hey, we got money.
Session number 6, 900 experience each.
900 experience each. Nice.
Did Brennan get a full share of that 900 since he was with us for everything?
He would have gotten a full share, yeah.
Nice. So that's probably like level 3 for him.
Well, I'm not going to let him double skip levels, but it'll put him right on the door of 3rd, I think.
Oh, okay.
So that'd be 40, 45, 50.
I'm at 4,500.
4450. Did we get bonus XP for anything?
That's what I'm... Jason, you hit both, plus 100.
Thanks.
For your insistence on being the wingman. And
Much appreciated.
That's important.
also for finding stuff to do with the random jabroni weapons that you guys picked up.
Okay.
That was a good idea as well. Grendel for cutting an X into that tree. I thought was clever. But also, how long does it take to carve the statue? I actually 100% did not think of that, so definitely give you there. So 100 for Grendel.
Okay, cool.
Andrew, plus 100. The thinking of what to smell and completely bypassing all the stuff to get there was nice. And reminding me that Jeremy's character is dumb, so that is exactly what he said. And Jeremy, you pick up 50 for scouting the cave appropriately. All right, let me bring up Brennan and put his in before I forget.
So that brings me up to 4,600. That's pretty rad. So we're zeroing in on
Level 5 is like 50, 60 something?
6,500.
65, yeah. You guys
So
are
we're-
45?
Yeah, we're 2,000 away.
Yeah, we'll probably get it in a couple sessions, just in time for us to take a break before we can enjoy our level 5 stuff.
That is
For the
a
one
true
shot.
statement.
So we'll be level 5 in both places at once.
That is true.
So, Gustav, I'm looking in here, and the spells have a prepared or not prepared.
Mhm.
So, what should I be? Essentially, as I add spells, like I added Animal Messenger this past time, right? And I also added Flaming Sphere. And those are like things that I'm putting in my spell book.
Right.
The point being is, if they're not prepared, those aren't the ones. I mean, they're there, but they're not the ones I'm actually going to be able to cast
So-
on.
Correct.
Right. So here's the thing: is the spellbook though doesn't apply to a druid or a cleric. They don't have
Right.
spellbooks. That's a wizard thing, right? So
I'm just coming from the character sheet.
correct. But the thing is, like there's like constantly clicking and unclicking those things isn't. I think that's not a productive use of time. So that's why I said I want you guys to have just somewhere a generic, like just on your character sheet, a list of spells. In general, this is what I prepare every day, unless
Sure.
I specifically say for some reason this is what I have prepared. Because otherwise, like, I don't want to go every morning. What spells did you prepare today? Okay, you woke up.
Right.
What spells? That's a waste of time. So, because more often than not, the answer's gonna be the same unless you have a reason to do something differently.
Right. And the reason I did the animal messenger thing is as I was going through stuff today, I was like, this is something fun that I should have.
Totally. Yep.
But I don't. Obviously, unless I've in a situation like we were in, it seemed easy to roleplay that. If you know what I'm saying. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna do this real quick. Like, obviously, from a affecting the story or giving us a competitive advantage.
Well, and in that case, I think you could easily argue that you were planning on sending a message to the dwarves, so you would have prepared that spell to do so. Then you realize, crap, this won't work to send it to the dwarves, so I'll just send it to Lucius instead.
Right.
Which we can always just send a regular messenger to.
That's not as
to
cool.
the dwarves. I mean, sure,
It's
but
not nearly as much fun.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, we got to get message to them somehow. We're not gonna ride out there. It's like.
Well, we can. We just got to keep always ring with us, right? Keep always ring with us, and eventually we're gonna make our way back there.
Sure.
Because had I taken that other quest, it would have gone south.
That's true.
Well, and we got to remember, we can also only stay here for so long before eventually, we might end up having somebody ask questions about why we're not doing what the queen told us to do.
True.
At this point, I think we're kind of hitting that yellow-orange area before it turns red. Like,
well, how long has it been? About a week?
I'd say like 4 days would be my guesstimate.
I can tell you exactly how long. She did it on a Monday, and you guys are on Friday.
Boom.
So it's been almost a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that given that we're working on getting I think you've given us a lot of cover there, Crunch. With us getting the guild house set up or the T.O.R house set up. That we have to get this in order before we can go off. We have to have an effective way to fund our adventure, and getting this in order is important for doing so.
Well, more importantly, also we needed the seal of approval. But now that we've got that, I feel like it's going to start being diminishing returns, so to speak, the longer we stay here.
Possibly.
But all
I don't
this
disagree.
is stuff that good old Emin and I can talk about on our ReGen Rewind. So
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream for everybody. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you sometime this week, around 8 o'clock on whichever night both Em and I are free. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next Tuesday for our 7th episode. Have a good night.